Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I really appreciate it. My name is Laura Sager, and my husband and I now live in Newman Lofts, downtown East Lansing. We love it. I've lived in East Lansing on and off since 1971 as both a renter and a long-term homeowner, about more than a decade in the Bailey neighborhood. I'm strongly in support of the ballot initiative under discussion today. There have been many instances where the city could have fined Tom and me for unknowingly violating the city's housing code had it been in effect at the time we were living there with long-term guests. We had various reasons, most notably part-time child care and another case for having a person estranged from their family who was unrelated, living with us as a refuge. As you know, as the decades roll on, illness can take a toll on family and friends and may change the reasons for sharing a home. We have a close friend living in an overlay district who recently needed 24/7 personal care. I assisted her for a week until other part-time live-in housekeeping care and family members could take over. However, should we consider moving to her large home as a couple to provide unpaid personal and home care assistance? As I read the City Code of Ordinances, we would be prevented from doing so. The language seems unambiguous to me, and I'm familiar with legislative language, but since it's scattered through the code, it is confusing. Here's why I think we would be prohibited from assisting our friend in this way. One, we would not count as a domestic unit, as our relationship would not be permanent, and we would not be responsible for basic material needs of the other, and we could not provide clear and convincing evidence of each of the elements of a domestic unit. So in reading the domestic unit criteria, we're out. We could not be a family under the definition that prohibits one person from having more than one unrelated person in the home for more than 60 days. There would be three of us, myself, my husband, and the homeowner. The City Code of Ordinances also rules out an association for convenience and economics, which really are considerations in the situation and potential disqualifiers. We would not be a domestic servant because we would not be paid, and our friend would not be paying our Social Security, so we're out there. We would not be guests under the code because we would plan to live there longer than 30 consecutive days or 60 days in a year. Therefore, we'd be deemed as renters, and our friend's house would be defined as a rental unit despite our not paying rent. This would require a rental license, and the overlay district would prohibit issuing a rental license in this case. This is a classic catch-22. Finally, we would not fit under the medical caregiver definition because we would not be licensed medical practitioners authorized via prescription to provide special care. To wrap up, many senior citizens may require caregiving from friends and family. We are not all so wealthy that we can pay a domestic servant or medical caregiver for 40 hours of work on an ongoing basis. I find it a bit shocking that we are looking at ways of shutting out solutions for people with lesser means or who may have cultural traditions that promote co-housing and the provision of care by friends and family. I've been following this debate and find the majority of the city council members oddly intransigent in this situation. Their descriptions of the initiative language have been misleading at best, resorting to impugning the character of those constituents engaged in a democratic endeavor to fix a problem is really beyond the pale. I urge you to
30 seconds remaining.
I urge you to engage in civil discourse so that people can focus on the issues at hand. As you recall, East Lansing home mortgages once routinely included exclusionary covenants meant to keep the wrong sort out. We would be the wrong sort out under the current code. The housing ordinances need to change to fit the needs of your residents, all of them, not just the ones wealthy enough to hire full-time domestic help. I've signed the ballot initiative petition and invite each of you to do the same. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for your comments.